Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with some of the crew today.
I'm Ted.
I'm Nate.
Today we're going to do a GM 911. Was it a 911?
It was a 911.
Or was it just a request?
It was a 911 / a request from Stephanie Peebles. And they want to know our take on using the grafting rules, which have been done in other editions, for 5e.
Yeah, and it was really big in 3rd edition because you had different types of grafts. You had undead, you had fiendish, you had
monstrous,
aberrations. Like it was broken down by the different monster groups in 3rd edition. You could have done a celestial, kind of weird,
kind of creepy,
but you could have did it. But so and they worked. They worked basically kind of like magic items. So you could definitely go that route. The problem with 3rd edition is you can only have 3 attuned items, or 5th edition, one of these editions.
The newest.
The problem with 5th edition is it require, is you only have 3 attuned items, and if you're going to have grafting take up one of those attunements, it's like, all right, well, what is it going to be? Well, if you've got the freaking wings of a solar, well, then I think it's not going to just give you flight. That's going to give you some oomph. To go along with it. So that's probably worth one of your attunement slots.
Yeah, you're probably like if you're that character that's into that. First of all, like I would think that like it'd be thematic. Like you'd want, or maybe you have to. Like maybe part of the grafting rules is like if you graft undead, it's all undead or nothing. If you graft celestial, it's all celestial. You have to stick to a specific type, or maybe some disharmonies happens and your character will be ripped in half.
So they ask, what's our take on it? Number one, I'm all for it. You just have to set whatever ground rules you're going to use for your game. You have to have that established
and be consistent
and be consistent with it. So is it something that allows you to do these things not require attunement, and it allows you to break, while I'm getting now more magical benefit than the average character that would be of that level because you've gone down this process, or does it require attunement? Is it kind of like magic items where there's the recipe? Do you have to find someone that knows how to do this? Is there a time limit from when the thing is cut off to when it has to get?
Is this an archetype? Like Artificer,
it could be something that's built into a particular class, either the ability to do it or have it done to you. I mean, there's plenty.
Is anyone else seeing like, all right, so I'm the undead undead grafter, right? And I have like a quiver on my back for arrows where I just pull out different arms. I'm like. And you're ratcheting a new one on, and you're like, this is going to require a Skeletor arm. Or I don't need the ghoul arm for this one.
So that kind of thing
of body parts.
Yeah. Is that something that's totally possible? Like I look at attaching body parts is something that's going to be required to be like a painful surgery where it's like, all right, well, I'm going to have to literally saw or cut something off and have to then stitch it.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like you have to have the slot available, right? In this case, the arm or the hand or whatever. And then on top of that, you'd have to have the part to put on there. So like I almost see it like if it's something like an arm, like multiple, you could do multiple arms, and maybe they just graft real quick. Because you really did make a big sacrifice to get those things. You lost an arm.
And you found one, and you preserve it, so maybe it takes up an attunement slot in that case, but it doesn't necessarily, each one is not an attunement. Do you know what I mean? Like
graft as a whole isn't.
Yeah, like if you have an arm graft, it's an attunement slot that you just don't have anymore. But you can put any arm onto it.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't work that way. There's no slots. You can wear 10 magic rings.
3 attunements available to each character, and you would be reducing your total attunements by 1.
So
how about that?
Yeah, to have
that would be saying it requires attunement.
Nope. Because then you'd have each arm would require attunement, and if you wanted to do that arm switcheroo,
yeah, you have to reattune.
So you couldn't say, okay, I'm going to pull this one off, put this one on, and I'm ready to go with this in an hour after you've reattuned. Then you're fine.
Well, pretty much, that's the quick version. But maybe that's the benefit of them is the ability to switch your attunements faster between grafts.
Yeah, I personally, I would go that you can't just remove body parts and put new things on unless you're a freaking troll. They've got the ability to regenerate and have it just instantly attach. I don't see a way of just.
Well, I see that as being like part of the magic of the graft, like because we're talking. I thought we're talking about magic grafts. Not just sawing. Okay, I killed a ghoul. I'm just going to sew its arm to mine now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would imagine that there's a magical process involved, but it's still like your body's got to be held together. Like I don't think the magic is enough. That's just my take.
I think it could.
Well, you got a nub, man. You got a nub. A nub's a nub, and it just like grafts to it.
A nubs is enough.
Yeah, that's like how I was thinking. Like you magically create the graft, or the graft has been magically created. Like you could find it in a treasure hoard, right? Because this is D&D, and that's what we do. We kill monsters, take their stuff. It's all laying there in a pile. And so you slay the dragon, and you're like, what is this funky arm doing in it? And like, maybe you're missing an arm, and you're like, wow, I really feel compelled to touch this to my stump for some reason, right?
That effect,
and you're like, oh my god, I got an arm. It kind of smells funny, but it works.
Yeah, I would see it. This just strikes me weird. Like bioethically, it's just weird. Chopping off your own arm to put something else on. But if you had a stump, like war wound or something, and you're like, oh, I found this arm, or this person made an arm for me, and I'm going to put it on.
only has one eye.
Yeah, so he could totally have a fiend's eye, or a celestial's eye, or a lich's eye. True sight, baby.
Like how adventurers are always horsing around, right? So you think it'd be funny as hell to throw the fiend eye at Uthengar, right? Well, no one expects it to freaking beeline to the eye socket and insert itself.
Yeah, so that could be.
Yeah,
that could
He's
be
already gone down some dark paths. So.
And again, it always harkens back to like, well, how would this be incorporated into the world? And I really would think that like a person that can graft things would be replacing people's limbs that have been damaged or destroyed or something of that nature, or giving someone that's blind sight, that kind of thing. That's what I would be seeing it would be used for, rather than some kind of crazy person in the woods hacking off troll heads and sticking them on their body.
I have this awesome idea. I'm going to put this troll head where my head is.
Yes.
Part 1, troll head done. Now I just gotta saw off my own head and put this on. They're like lining up the troll head on the stump. Like if I just fall right on,
it'll just go right on.
It just takes, they're breaking out the chalkboard and they're doing the calculations. There's a picture of the stump with the troll head on it and the body with the dotted line for the arc of the fall.
The arc of falling after the head gets cleaved off.
And then someone comes along, the head's on the stump. The beheaded guy is like next to the stump, and they look at it. And the wizard looks at the chalkboard and goes, "Oh, he forgot to carry the wand." Or, like you said, you can make an archetype out of it for a wizard tradition, or maybe an interesting sorcerer one.
Or it could be a basis for your whole campaign. It could just be the bend of your whole campaign, kind of like the steampunk, but instead it's like, hey, I want to be stronger. Let me put some kind of Goliath arms on my body instead of these human arms.
Let me put some ogre arms on my body.
Come here, Nate.
You're going to be a knuckle dragger, literally, then. But
or just walk on your hands, like. So yeah, you could. There's definitely some like routes you could go like that. I kind of like the idea of like, if you're gonna go that route, I like treating it like a magic item. Or there's also the symbiotes from 3rd edition, which they usually came at a price.
Yeah,
like you get a bonus here and maybe some cool powers, but like. It eats up a point of con while you have it attached, or wisdom or intelligence or whatever. Wisdom's always a good one because I really do think it lacks wisdom to attach strange things to your body.
Yeah, so I like treating it as magic item. I think it makes it the cleanest without having to make a whole bunch of rules for it, because it would be individualistic. If you want to get really seriously into it, then you're gonna have to develop some kind of. So
I like treating them like minor, Hands of Vecna, Eye of Vecna type thing, where it's actually a created magic item itself, and then like you know you still have to have the availability of the body part to put it on. Like if it's a hand, you got to lose a hand. If you know, the only thing I'm not really sure about is the attunement because of the price of having that magic item. You know,
So
like,
maybe the maybe the rarity is one step down
for attunement,
because it doesn't be, you know, just because like yeah, you still require attunement, but the thing is one step down because you have to you know, be willing to lose something, you know, or you know,
or maybe grafting costs one attunement.
just the whole concept of grafting.
Yeah, like is one attunement.
So you can graft as many things as
you can
you've
graft
got.
your eyes, your head, your penis, your arms, your legs, and it's just one.
That's interesting.
And it would just be you're just one less attunement.
Yeah, you'd be down on attunement, and let's face it, if that thing if you're ever like, man, I really want to wear this suit of armor, but do I want to give up my arm? You're gonna have to think twice. I mean, there's gonna be game mechanics today. If you're a fighter that fights, you know, sword and shield, and you gave up your arms to graft ogre arms on you, like you're kind of stuck with those, or you better find regeneration or something. You better find the Lord, son, because you need some serious regeneration.
Yes, I would say that could be a thing. Is that, you know, it costs you're just down one attunement. I'm pretty sure I said this earlier, but I'm glad everyone thinks this is a good idea now. But you know, if you want to get that,
well, I was misunderstanding how you're wording it.
If you want to get that attunement up to 3 instead of have it be at 2, then you'd have to have like either one arm if you chopped your arm off, or again, I really like the idea of, you know, you find like some kind of scaled arm from some crazy lizard or whatever, and you've lost an arm already, or yours is badly damaged, so you just kind of stick it on there rather than like
Lopping
I'm going to
things
chop my own arm off. I mean, there's a certain type of insanity I think involved in that.
Oh yeah, I mean the whole it's a weird magic item system to begin with.
Yeah.
So you know, and like those items might be mildly cursed in a sense that they come with a compulsion to want to attach them.
Yeah, you might want to eat flies or something like that after attaching a lizard arm to you.
Well, that's true too. But I was thinking more along the lines of, you know, you find it and you're handling, you're like, wow, I really want this one instead of mine. And you're like, yeah. Do you cut your hand off?
Like the Berserker axe? I don't want to use any other arm except this one.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's one way of going about it. You know, you could do an archetype like you said, which is another weird thing, but that's limited to just one class. You know, so no one else is going to be doing it. I like the idea of only one type of graft, and one attunement covers grafting. You know,
I think that works.
So all undead, all celestial, you don't mix, and you're just down an attunement.
I don't think this edition has aberrations. I think it's just monstrosities now.
Oh, we don't have aberrations?
I think it's just monstrosities. We have
I don't know.
No, Eminem's not here.
There's one off camera.
Aberrations.
Come to me. No, it's not working. See, it's times like these when you need the force.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. That Umber Hulk right there.
Oh,
that would
that's
be
an aberration. Oh,
right.
bummer.
Yeah, it usually is.
Yeah, monstrosity is what's this other thing?
So
I thought it was aberrations, really.
Yeah, just like go to Beholder or something. It's right in the beginning of the book.
Past dragons, the wild past dragons.
So hopefully, you know, for the most part, we've answered this question, and then it's like, well, what do they do? That's going to be pretty varied depending on
Aberration.
the type of monster it's coming from, what body slot it's taking up.
Because you can't have 2 left arms.
Well, yeah, you can't have 2. That would just be weird.
Unless you put it on the right.
Oh, wait a minute! Like you look like
be like a rock Sasha.
Half rock Sasha.
Yeah. Which is
never shake anybody's hand with that hand, or they'll be like rock Sasha and they'll stab you with blessed pointy instruments.
Yeah. And you're like, hi, I'm not vulnerable to them, but oh my god, I'm still bleeding.
Those arrows hurt.
Yeah. So and you know the other end of that would be symbiotes, which could be like a whole nother discussion, I guess. But they're very similar to grafting. And then you could use the symbiote mechanic where there's a negative to doing the grafting.
Yeah, some kind of loss of
You know, or maybe you just feel like giving up your hand is enough.
Yeah. Well, especially if it's symbiote in nature, but it also is a body part, you could just work it that way. And I think
So-
giving up your hand, maybe it eats it.
Yeah.
It's a negative.
So
it eats
so
the
we
part you put it on.
we went just over the generic, and I think it's too broad a category for us to do, you know, specifics. Like maybe this might even be like an article we could do on the
Yeah.
website. You know, I don't know. You guys want to see an article on the website about grafting for 5A? What do you guys think of the ideas we've given so far? You can put it down in the comments below while you're at it. Like, subscribe, share.
You can come support our Patreon account. Even $1 a month will go a long way to helping us bring more and better content to you.
You also check out those articles on nerdarchy.com.
So until next time, stay nerdy.